Now, I was planning to share this with you yesterday, but some things came up and I couldn't get around to it. But here I am today to tell you about procrastination. It's a problem that we all face, at least 95% of us. It doesn't have to be this way. In this video, we're going to explore why we procrastinate, but let's look at some practical advice to help you overcome this frustrating habit. Let's get started. Procrastination. You could define it as the act of delaying or postponing a task. It's a habit that affects most of us, and really it can have a negative impact on our productivity and creativity. Why procrastinate? What do we do to ourselves to convince us to put something off until later? Some common reasons for procrastination can include fear of failure, lack of motivation, perfectionism, distractions, lack of interest in the task at hand, overthinking, lack of self-discipline, negative self-talk. There's 1,000 excuses we use to put something off. Regardless of the reason, procrastination can lead to feelings of stress and guilt, and it can even affect our mental and physical health. That feeling of stress, knowing you're putting something off that you shouldn't, compounds it sometimes, making it even harder to get started. Some of the negative effects from procrastination: decreased productivity and creativity, increased stress and anxiety, difficulty in achieving personal and professional goals, poor time management, poor work quality and performance, difficulty in meeting deadlines, difficulty in completing projects, impact on personal relationships, impact on physical health and mental health. Understanding the reasons and effects of procrastination is important in order to take control of it and avoid the negative consequences. Let's look at some common real-life examples of procrastination, how that translates into the real world. Often one of the first times you're introduced to procrastination is writing that paper or completing that assignment for school. Many people put off even starting the project because they feel overwhelmed by the task, or they're not too sure where to begin. To be honest, the amount of times I've put something off think it's going to take me forever, but once I actually get started and into the groove of it, it takes a lot less time than I expected, and usually I find myself thinking, I should have just done it earlier. A little bit later in school you find yourself preparing for exams. Some people might put off studying for a test because they feel like they have plenty of time. Don't put it off. The more prepared you are, the less stressed you'll be when it comes to the crunch. There's nothing worse than that exam day regret or not doing more beforehand when you know you should have. Get a little bit growing up. Move out by yourself. Living in your own house. You find you might need to clean or organise a room. Some people will put off cleaning or organising a room. You don't know where to begin, and you usually know that to sort it and organise it, you're going to have to make even more of a mess. Just seems too daunting, so you put it off to tomorrow. Don't put it off. You will always feel better after sorting or organising a room. Guaranteed. Sometimes that's making a phone call or sending an email. Often you'll find this at work. Some people might put off making a phone call because they're feeling anxious or unsure about what to say. 90% of the message we convey is through non-verbal cues, so when you cut it down to just verbal and maybe a couple of vocal cues, it can be difficult. As far as putting this off and procrastinating, it's not going to get easier with time. So like a band-aid, rip it off and just get it over and done with. One of the other ones you might find, starting a new hobby or learning a new skill. Some people might put this off because they're unsure of what's involved. Do they need to learn other skills? Do they need to buy more equipment? Are they prepared to start as is? Sometimes they're just not sure where to begin. Well, there's only one thing to do, and that's start. Give it a go. If you suddenly find you need more equipment, you can now decide whether you like it enough to justify buying the equipment, or if you don't enjoy it, cut your losses before buying all the equipment you need for a new hobby that you don't enjoy. So there's a few examples of procrastination, but the key takeaway is that procrastination can happen in all areas of our life, and the reasons for it can vary from person to person. Personally, one thing I've done that I found really helped me identify and face some of the problems I have, especially with procrastination, some researching into different personality types, the way they take in information, cognitive process, and one of the personality systems I've investigated in is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI. 16 types. In delving into this, I discovered my personality type, which happened to be an INTP, and it just so happens they're one of the personality types prone to procrastination because of their tendency to overanalyze and overthink tasks, which can quite honestly make it difficult to even want to start or finish a project. I find as an INTP, I tend to focus on the big picture, overlook the small details such as how I'm going to get there, which can lead to procrastination and difficulty in completing the task of getting there. A lot of time is focused on the future and the theoretical possibilities, in which case I can sometimes overlook the present and the importance of completing a task at hand. Sometimes there's problems with self-discipline and motivation, time management, and can often have trouble following through with a task due to lack of interest or feeling overwhelmed. Tend to not finish the first task. But it's important to remember these are just general tendencies and not set in stone. Everyone's unique and you might have different reasons for procrastination. If you have looked into the MBTI and happen to know your type, a couple of others that are susceptible to procrastination include the INFP, the ENTP, ENFP, ISTP, and the ESFP. Understanding your own personality type and how it may contribute to your procrastination can help you develop strategies to overcome it. So, what can we do? Most of us have realized at some stage we're going to look at procrastination and have it come up in our lives. How do we get around it? How do we get over it? How does it not become an issue? One of the easiest ways is to break down tasks into smaller chunks. Instead of looking at a big project as one overwhelming task, break it down into smaller manageable steps. This can make the task feel less daunting or more doable. It's often said with goal setting as well. Rather than one high-end, almost unachievable goal, find out the steps to get there, break it down into multiple goals, and work through them one by one. Not only will you get through the task, get a feeling of accomplishment every time. This is one thing I have implemented into my life. Using a timer, set a specific amount of time and work on that task for that amount of time. Once the timer goes off, take a break. Set the timer again. This can help you stay focused and motivated. If you find that's not working for you, eliminate all your distractions. Identify the things that distract you, whether that's YouTube playing in the background, a deck of cards you want to play with on your shelf, whatever it is, turning off your phone, closing unnecessary tabs on your computer. Whatever it is, try and get rid of those distractions. Use a calendar or planner. Plan out your day, your week, or your month. Set specific times to work on tasks. This really helps if you've broken down the task into smaller chunks. You can actually plan out how you'll get through those chunks, how long it's going to take, and how long you can put to each chunk of work. Find an accountability partner. This is another one I use. Tell somebody what you plan to do so that they'll hold you accountable for getting your task done. Could be a friend, family member, colleague at work if you need to. Probably not your boss, that puts a bit too much pressure on yourself, but definitely your colleague. Tell them what you want to do, when you want to get it done, and that slight subliminal motivation of not wanting to fail in their eyes will help you push through it. Big one I use, rewarding yourself. Give yourself a reward once you complete a task. Could be something as simple as a short walk or having a cup of coffee. And if you're taking your breaks and you've used a timer, this is where you reward yourself. One of the biggest things, regardless, remember to be kind to yourself. If you procrastinate, don't beat yourself up over it. We all do it. Remember that we slip up from time to time, and it's important to be kind and compassionate with ourselves. We all procrastinate sometimes, but hopefully using a few of these strategies can help you overcome procrastination and be a bit more productive and creative in your everyday life. Thanks for watching. Remember, procrastination doesn't have to control your life. By understanding and using practical strategies to overcome it, we can be more productive, creative, and successful. Don't put it off till tomorrow when you can do it today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button if you liked it. Thanks.